All right, man. It's official, man. The Recipe Podcast. It's your boy BQ, where the game is sold, not told. I'm with a very special guest in the building. I've been wanting to say this name for a minute, man. Miguel Kultura.
Hey, what's good? How you doing?
So, man, bro, it's been a while since you came down to the lab. Well, you was in the lab on the south like about a year ago. I've been seeing your content for a long time. We've been friends for a good while. So, I mean, obviously I know in and out about you. So for the people that are watching, that are listening, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell people a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
My name is Miguel Kultura, artist, producer, engineer, entrepreneur, and community activist. And I'm here, to support EMLN, you know what I'm saying, BQ, always, you know what I'm saying, so that's what we're here for.
Most definitely, man. So I feel like it was really important for me to bring you here. So I think one of the main things I really want to bring up and ask you about, because I feel like there's specific things that you and I can both learn about each other right now, is what's going on right now with East San Jose and the mural, and because you mentioned you're an activist. So what are some things right now in the community that is making you being, active in that space?
What are some of the things that are...
Yeah, because I know there's been a lot of content, a lot of people have been putting on social media about the mural. So, like, what exactly is going on? Like, for someone that does not know,
what's going on? Yeah. So, I mean, even on let alone the East Side has so much history, so much historical trauma, and you know the way it was developed within the city of San Jose is crazy to have learned that perspective. Inflation going up, you know what I'm saying? Houses, wages, all the technology, the tech boom, that leaves a certain percentage of the poverty, of what is a poverty, become more popularized, you know what I'm saying? And you like something like the mural, that's kind of like a sign of like cultural erasure, like a sign of ethnogenocide, like it's a form of colonization, you know what I'm saying? It's like a new form,
Yeah.
And that's all part of the gentrification, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's just hella deep, because like, I didn't even see it that way that you said it, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, I see it as gentrification, right? People that are coming in from other countries, other cities, other states, and they're enforcing, economically, because they're eliminating all the businesses, they're eliminating all the small mom and pop shops, because they're buying out buildings and they're converting them into, nice condos, into nice apartments, and now they're housing engineers that can afford $2,000, $3,000 worth of rent, which fucking, let's be realistic, if you work in retail, you work in a 9 to 5, you work in a job that doesn't require a degree, you're not making enough money to sustain that. And especially nowadays, bro, you gotta have like roommates to live at a certain place nowadays.
You need fucking 3 jobs, bruh.
It's real.
Hustles, you know what I'm saying?
So like, I was talking about homie about this shit, because I feel like the economic gap is getting so big. It's getting bigger and bigger as time goes by, right? And I obviously we can definitely admit that the tech boom is responsible. And the thing is, we're not really trying to put a negative light. Well, I'm not trying to put a negative light. I don't want to say anyone in general is, but I'm saying like, a lot of people can perceive it that way because they see it as like, there's jobs being eliminated because of AI. There's a lot of technology that's being replacing labor workers. Like they're saying truck drivers are gonna be eliminated within the next 5 years.
Like you're saying, like it is a balance. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, within the capitalistic world, there's room for opportunity, and there's no opportunity within that tech boom. You know what I'm saying? But some people or some ethnicities get a higher opportunity goal. You know what I'm saying? To do that.
It's just like growing up in San Jose and seeing like how it used to be, where it's like majority Latino, majority African American, Asian, Filipinos. You know what I'm saying? It's so diverse. We're one of the most diverse cities in the Bay Area. Generally, is the most diverse place. So like now that you're seeing a lot of foreigners coming in and taking the opportunities that are presented, because Silicon Valley is the most concentrated level of intelligence, you know what I'm saying, that exists. So, like I said, there's jobs that are being created through this tech boom, but there's also people that are homegrown, live we created the culture here. You know what I'm saying? And like how you're saying, it's a form of genocide. It's a form of like they're removing all the stuff that we left, and they're replacing it with things that is commercialized. So that people from outside in, they're like, oh, Silicon Valley, wow, it's so nice over there. It's beautiful. Everything, it's not ghetto. It's not this. It's not that. But let's be real, bro. There's a whole culture that exists. So it's like, I feel like I support the movement because I feel like, you know, my boy Cash, shout out to my homie Castro, because he just recently, he just created a mural that took him a whole year to make in Redwood City. And they had the fire department, they had the police there, they had the community there, they had free food, like they had all these people, bro. They were playing banda, they were doing everything, bro. It was so lit. And I was just hella proud of my homie because he actually created something from scratch and got paid to do what he loves. But most importantly, like when he was finished and he was doing an interview, he was just saying it's not even about me, it's about like our legacy, it's about our culture. Like, so people that come in, they know the roots, they know how everything was created to begin with. So I thought that shit was so deep, and I just feel like that was the beginning of what was getting erased here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it started off. And now, where's the location of that mural, the one that everybody's familiar with?
So it's Mural de la Raza, and that's off Story, Past King. It's on Stories, on the playlist, the old playlist shoes there. And so much history there too, you know what I'm saying?
That's
people
traditional,
buy
man.
shoes there, you know what I'm saying?
East side
like,
shit right there,
like,
man. I was born on the east side. I was born on the east. My brother went to Mount Pleasant. I went to fucking Valley Vista. Like, I grew up on that part of town for a little bit. But I knew Story and King. Like, everybody that's from San Jose knows Story and King as like the trademark. Like, that's fucking East San Jose. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows. So the fact that like shit's getting commercialized and they're erasing shit, I thought that shit was kind of fucked up. But I can definitely say I'm proud to be from San Jose and seeing how we stand up and fight against stuff that's like taking over.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it sucks that I had to come down to that, because even when that happened, everybody, most of the Chicanos and Latinos, were wait, you know what I'm saying? When that shit happened, it was like, okay, like what the fuck do we need to do? How are we gonna get organized? How do we resist this? How do we come about this? And I had to take something like that to get everybody together, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I had to do that shit, but like more so everybody has this collective vision of, staying here or fighting to stay here and creating resources for everybody, you know what I'm saying? I think that it all comes down to the resources, but yeah.
You know what's crazy too is that like being someone from the tech space coming in, sometimes they don't even realize what they do. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so like, I'm only here for one purpose, and that's to make money, and that's to build the next thing that's gonna change and disrupt the industry. So it's like it's like two worlds. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like America right now. America is like there's two Americas. There's the minorities. There's people that are like really struggling paycheck to paycheck, working their ass off, limited resources, and there's like that top 18% that's really making a lot of money that don't understand real reality problems. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't afford healthcare now. Some people can't even fucking afford they can't even afford good quality education. You know what I'm saying? So there's such a big gap, and I feel like it's growing. So how does somebody, like, let me ask you, like, how does somebody coming from tech actually become aware and do their part to not, how you say, like, I don't want to say like, I want to say contribute to the solution, I guess. How do they, what's the compromise, you know what I'm saying? Like for the people that are protesting right now, like what is their expectation on people from tech or people that are gentrifying this? Because I mean, obviously this specific subject is mainly towards the property people that own the property. So like what's their argument in this situation like?
I mean, it just comes out, I mean, it's crazy because like once you have the property, it's different dynamics for everything, so like the property owners, they do have a right, it's their property, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever they can with it, but it's also like when people around that property don't like what they're doing and start really coming about it, then they really start paying attention, you know what I'm saying, the property owners, you know what I'm saying, because then their life on the line, their money's on the line, you know what I'm saying. What they can do is provide education resources or like try to find a way to stay involved with the community, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, a lot of people that are working in, say, Facebook, Apple, Google, whatnot, they're coming from China, they're coming from India, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of those people are immigrants too, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy to believe the irony.
They're immigrants, and a lot of those people still get housing and shit. So I don't know what essentially they can do. I think more so, bringing awareness to the situation, or having empathy on it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the most thing to play their part as far as the workers. I think it solely lies on the companies and how they can get involved and flush out resources or see how they can be involved in the community. You know what I'm saying, and help that out.
I agree with that. I feel like there are some companies, based on like me putting the effort to try to find it, that they are trying to kind of bridge somehow. Like Facebook kind of has their community events. They got, they have First Friday now for Facebook. They got like Google's doing like these open programs where you can come visit the campus and do certain things. But do you feel like even with that it's enough, or do you feel like there could be more?
I feel like, I don't know what their plans are, you know what I'm saying? Google bought like 4 or 5 buildings downtown San Jose, you know what I'm saying?
You know exactly where those buildings are?
It's off Sound First, so whole corner, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't they said Safeway's gonna close down like in June. I think I saw articles saying that they're gonna close down that Safeway. I don't know if it's because that if Google's a part of it or somebody's buying out that Safeway, but I know it's closing down soon.
So that's crazy, man. Like, see, it's evident you can't stop Google, from coming. It was evident that they're gonna come. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's just like what we can do to have them work with us, with the community. You know what I'm saying? Or, keep resistant to see what kind of outcome comes from that. And I feel like they have to pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They have to cater to the community that's here and that's been here, the history. But yeah, it's just like, once Google's actually here, then what? You know what I'm saying? What can come out of that? Tech jobs, or you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna dive into actually, because I feel like, excuse me, like I feel like right now, like I said, it's really hard for someone that isn't already in tech to get involved in tech, especially if they don't even have the interest. Because nowadays, like growing up, our insight of like what we wanted to do, what were our aspirations, wasn't like I want to be an engineer, I want to be a fucking developer. It was like I want to be a rapper, I want to be a ball player, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that. But it's like that was never in the conversation. Now that like the context of like what we should be focusing on trying to become, at least as like a basic job, is now just like we have to unlearn what we've already been educated on. You know what I'm saying? Like I was listening to Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club this morning, and they were talking about this book by I don't know his name exactly, but he's from Canada. He's called The Mixed Poet or something like that. And he said his book is called Unlearn, which like what's important to do nowadays? Is it important to learn or unlearn? And he was saying it's actually really, really important to unlearn, because a lot of the culture and a lot of the things that we are accustomed to is the reason why we're not able to excel. We're not able to kind of elevate to that next level. Because for me, and I don't know if you've seen my podcast recently where I interviewed Ruben Harris. Do you know who Ruben Harris is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, Ruben Harris is the CEO of Career Karma. It's like a community of people that are engineers, developers, and they come from non-traditional backgrounds. So they come from like New York, they come from like the hood, they come from like different places that you would never imagine, and they actually are able to break into tech. So he's trying to create a community and kind of expose that through his podcast, so people can actually dive in and listen to these stories and be like, damn, like I can actually do that. I didn't realize it. And it wasn't until the moment I actually got to know this guy, because he was Cubano, he was African American. I thought he was dope, because I'm like, damn, usually I would have expected him to be white. Let's keep it G. Like the majority of them are like white or something. So I can't really resonate with Elon Musk. I can't listen to you, bro. Like I don't have the attention span to listen to your keynote for 2 hours. Like that shit don't gravitate to me. But if you're Nipsey Hussle and you talk about Vector 90, you talk about elevating people through breaking into tech, you're gonna catch my attention. And this is why I've been really preaching about fucking bridging the gap between urban culture and tech culture, because I feel like there's a huge opportunity that's presented right now, and this is like a very prime era right now we're living in, and it's only a matter of time until commercialized businesses bridge that gap.
Right.
But where I'm going with this is that Ruben really put me on a lot of game, And at that time, I was just doing MLM, media content, vlogging. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, I do the video editing myself. I do some of the Adobe stuff. He's like, bro, if you can do Adobe, you can fucking code. And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Coding is like fucking... He's like, you remember MySpace, right? You remember you used to make your own layouts and all that shit? Yeah, that's HTML coding. It's the same exact shit. It's just comprehending a language. And I interviewed a guy named Justin Bethune. He's the account manager at Dropbox. And he told me that breaking into tech or understanding tech is like learning a sport. It's like Muay Thai or like football. It's like you're not going to just go in on the field already knowing what to do. You got to go through the practice. You got to go through the playbook. You got to train. You got to position yourself to compete. Then when you're in that level, then you can be an entry level and actually compete for an opportunity. So I feel like it is definitely the tech businesses bridging an opportunity for people like us, especially for like, I didn't graduate college, you know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be an opportunity to work in the tech.
But like, right, I feel like people gotta want it too, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they want it, you know
some people have to play their part. They gotta take the time to educate themselves. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there that are lazy to where they don't even want to work a mall job.
Right.
If you can't work a fucking mall job, bro, I don't know what to fucking tell you, bro. There's gonna be a robot replacing your ass somewhere.
Right.
I'm sorry to say. So like, I just feel like there's just so much information that you and I are talking about right now that no distribution is putting out right now.
Right.
And this is facts, because the only people I've listened to that can dive in on this is like breaking into startups, maybe Joe Rogan and kind of time to time, and like it's just like I just feel like it's more relevant in this space though.
Right.
Maybe not in Virginia, maybe not in New York, but like in San Jose, this is where all this shit is starting.
From my entrepreneur side, I get that too. You know, there's filling that opportunity gap. You know what I'm saying, within the urban population, and what is the technology and the information age, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the industrial age or the enlightenment, you know what I'm saying, just all over again, it's just recycling, there's an opportunity gap to bridge that, you know what I'm saying, and have our people, our POC communities into that, and there's already communities out there that have formed to do that, there's communities in SF, is very big on the Black African American agents and in tech. I see that happening already. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of brown. You know what I'm saying? But it just takes that one person to kind of do that and bring that together.
Create the cycle.
Yeah. From my activist side, you know what I'm saying, or my organizing side, it's just like, it's just like this whole cultural thing again. You know what I'm saying? Like when if these companies starts to bridge this gap or whatever, it's just like, is it for them or is it for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
are they doing it just to like?
It's still colonization. You know what I'm saying? But that's just too many different dynamics that I can speak from. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? And we have to do that shit. But
I think our people, man, we just gotta like look at ourselves in the mirror and just realize like, if you're gonna be living in San Jose and you think you're gonna be able to survive fucking just doing the basics, like it's not gonna work. Especially the way shit's going on right now. Like when I was working at Sprint, I was working there for about 3-4 years in Verizon to work in retail. In commission, sales, performance-based jobs, like they're good jobs because you can get a separate check on top of your hours. But keep in mind, that's like one of the jobs that gets paid the most out of your performance, out of a lot of jobs that don't require a college degree. But yet, that's still not enough. Like, it's not even close. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even put a down payment for an apartment if I wanted to. And that's just real shit. I mean, I may not speak for myself, but I just know that a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people are misinformed. A lot of people are just a victim to what is going on. Because, like,
a lot of people don't even know what the hell's going on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and nobody, it's not saying, like, we're just not, it's not the fact that we're not woke. Because I feel like a lot of people are open-minded to, like, shit that is not publicized in certain ways. Like, a lot of times we have to go out of our way to figure shit out. Like, do you know why they call Silicon Valley Silicon Valley?
I mean, from the Silicon chips and, the actual, when they found the silicon.
And then, like, they started creating that a part of the periodic table, and that was the only thing, the only element that could actually sustain engine fuels. So when the space race happened, they were able to get into the moon before Russia. You know what I'm saying? That's hella crazy, and that goes back to like the history of why we're so fortunate to live where we live, because this is where half of the world's billionaires live. They come here because they know where all these motherfuckers are being. Our IQ is higher. There's a fucking thing on First Take where the guy was talking about the Warriors, right? It became a basketball subject, and then it ended up being about football, and then business, and then tech. And they're just smarter they're smarter than where you live. They have all the greats and all these people that have created Wells Fargo, Drew's Ice Cream, Facebook, LinkedIn, like everything that everybody uses, everyone, like the masses, is done here. And I just feel like, how come we don't have any expertise of knowledge to that shit? Especially because we're the closest to it. You know what I mean? Like tech wasn't even a discussion for me until I got out of like college. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to De Anza for 3 years, tech wasn't even a conversation. And then now it's like, damn, this has been going on for years. You know what I'm saying? Amazon started in '99, bro. Like I didn't know that shit until then. Like why am I barely finding this shit out? And that's what I'm saying. Like we're uninformed. Like Google ain't like.
And I mean, ask yourself, like, why are we uninformed? Is it just our, you know what I'm saying, is it our skin color? Is it who we are? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really think about that? Or is it just like, you know, the people around us didn't inform us? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's both. You know what I'm saying? I think it's, like I said, an element of us not taking the time to educate ourselves and to be aware of what's going on. But also it's an element of like the people that are higher up that don't really, we're not all part of the agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like we're not. I'm not saying we're not relevant because we're still human beings. You know what I'm saying? We still have human rights, but
just something that they don't want to invest in. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't see an investment in yet fully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they do, and it's just in their plan.
This is where is a perfect time to slide in Hammer right there, because this is where urban culture is. Let's be real. I forgot who I was talking to about this, but somebody said, "What is more influential than a hip hop artist?"
What is more influential than hip-hop artists? Money?
Money. If you're to put it, if it's a human though, if it's a person,
okay.
Like if it's an occupation of any sort, what would it be?
What's more influential than the artists?
Or anything urban related, I guess.
Depends on,
I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about where the demographics of multiple people, they know. I would say the closest, like LeBron James, like sports, you know what I'm saying? And aside from sports, I don't feel like everybody knows who's the president of the United States around the whole world. Maybe right now because it's fucking Donald Trump's dumbass, but like, if it was anybody else, like, can you name the presidents all the way down from the first till now? I can. I could probably only name like 3 to be real.
I can name like 15.
Yeah. But
but I know I feel you, like it's just like there isn't, you know, hip hop culture has become so big that it has made a really big influential and even like you know, community, like not even community, but like it's made an impact within every source.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, every
so
source.
like, I'll give you an example. If I go to if not even New York, let's say I go to Miami right now, and I'm at Yambo restaurant, Nicaraguense restaurant, right? And I'm going up to the owner and I'm like, do you know who Elon Musk is? Do you know who Jeff Bezos is? They're gonna say 9 times out of 10, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
I'm just working,
I'm just working, I'm just here to get my bag, right? Do you know who Tupac is? Yeah, let's fucking go, it's the legend. Do you know who Snoop Dogg is? Do you know who LeBron James is? You see where I'm going with this? Is that urban culture is the most influential thing in the world, right? You got kids, I said this before, kids in Liberia wearing Tupac and Biggie shirts, in Brazil, in Costa Rica, all this shit. They know of our culture. When I go to Nicaragua, the last time I went was like 2013, and my cousins was rapping Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg at that time, you know what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is that like, that's how far the voice is. But now this is where tech is oblivious to, and this is where I'm gonna keep preaching this shit, because I know for a fact eventually one day we're gonna be commercialized and we're gonna be a part of that industry somehow. If not
always, we're always commercialized, from our food to, you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Like, I'm getting to like.
No, I hear what you're saying. It's facts though. So like, people like right now, if let's just say I saw an Amazon commercial recently, and it showed like this Indian dude, he's at a bar and he's looking at Amazon to look at for a coat. He finds a coat, and the dude next to him is like himself wearing the coat, but he's hella confident. It's like a romantic song because it's like a girl in the thing, and he's like, he's all swagging whatever, and like the whole point is that they're trying to sell you to buy whatever he's wearing on there, right? So I understand the subliminal message in there. Now let's add something different. Let's add YG. YG is the person that they're referencing to. Everybody knows who the fuck YG is, at least in West Coast I can speak. So if whatever YG touches or whatever influence that is urban culture related touches whatever technical product they try to sell, I guarantee you it will go a lot more farther than whatever random actor they have going on. You see where I'm going with this? So it's like, okay, how do people in tech utilize the influence of urban culture? Now this is a different conversation. It's like, okay, now Silicon Valley is in Hollywood. You don't got The Rock, you don't got Kevin Hart, you don't got those motherfuckers out here. Obviously you could go ahead and make a play, but it's like that's anticipated. It's just like, I don't know, bro. Now I just feel like the Bay Area never really had a Hollywood scene. You know what I'm saying?
From like the hip hop culture.
Yeah, I'm talking about like hip hop culture. Like we never had like stars. I could say the biggest stars in the Bay Area like E40, G-Eazy, like Stephen Curry. Like these are all stars in the Bay Area. Everybody knows. So if you were to like, I think there was one app I saw utilize E40 the way it should have. Have you heard of the app called Turo?
Yeah, Turo. Yeah.
They did a commercial with Richard Sherman at E40 where E40 pulled up in a Corvette because the app is like a rent-a-car. Like you can rent someone's car.
Right.
And it was like, Richard Sherman's like, I need a car, right? He orders the app, a red Ferrari pulls up, and it's E40. Sells the shit out of this shit, bro. I use Turo. I use it when I go to LA.
Too, yeah.
That's the point I'm making is that shit gravitated my attention because they put it was the right brands they put. If you just put a random actor in there, I guarantee people are not going to get the vision. People are influenced by people, not by product. You know what I'm saying? People make the product.
Right.
So it's like, how does tech utilize?
It's also like who's buying the product and which demographic are they targeting.
That's
you know
the
what I'm
thing.
saying?
Urban,
So like,
that's what I'm saying.
But are the urbans buying it? You know what I'm saying? Or are they not? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about like where kind of like our economic state is too. It depends. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
So that also just plays into like which demographic do they want to win?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
I think in some of the tech businesses they cater B2B, so it's not always B2C. It's not consumer. Like you're right. Like
But like an influential person like that, I feel like does bring in this type of person or a person like me.
And that's just one example. E40 isn't necessarily the biggest name like everyone knows. You know what I'm saying? But he is definitely someone that a lot of people should know. You know what I mean?
He's doing a lot of shit. He's doing a lot of dope shit. He's always been
got the
an entrepreneur.
Hurricane.
The E40, bro, he was tapping in with the latino.
That tequila, bro, he fucking smart.
Too, bro.
He was fucking smart for that shit. When I seen that bottle, I was like, E40, bro. Oh, this guy. Game over, bro. Game fucking over. Represented, bro. All right, so there was one thing I wanted to ask you about, and I know we talked on camera that you said you don't know all the gist, and I kind of want to talk about it. Are you familiar with what's going on in Nicaragua right now?
I'm a little bit familiar with it.
Have you seen any content aside from mine?
No, yes, yeah. I've seen some content. I've seen you talking about it too when you were on the news and shit. Like, I was telling you.
That shit was crazy, bro. That shit was fucking nuts. Like, I get a DM from this journalist from TRT Worldwide, which is like a news broadcasting station in Turkey and Europe. And I was like, who the fuck are these people? I didn't take her serious. She had like 2 followers. I'm like, you ain't shit. I go on her page and click the link. I'm like, oh shit. They're talking about some serious ass shit. Palestine, Pakistan, Iran, like all the serious things that are going on in the world. And so I obviously for me, I'm an opportunist. I utilize any type of distribution. But then when I realized what the topic was about, I was like, this is bigger than this. This is about something way bigger. Like, I gotta slow down. So like, then I didn't even expect anything to really happen because it was just an inquiry. And then we went back and forth. She said, be ready at this time to give you a call. We talked briefly. I introduced myself, told her what I do. And then even though they branded me as an activist on there, I told them to brand me as an entrepreneur because I'm not an activist. I'm being honest. I'm not an activist. But when it comes to my people, I have a voice. I'm going to utilize the voice. So, and then fucking they tell me to be up at like 5 in the morning, bro, because it's like 10.
It was like over there,
It's their time over there. So I'm on Skype, 6 in the morning, tired as shit. Got my black t-shirt I woke up in. I put my hat backwards because I had long hair at the time. And I'm on the fucking news, bro. I'm literally like CNN style, tired as shit with my hat backwards. But I'm still going in. And But you know, at this time though, this is late May. This is like when the protest started, and about 10 people were killed. Like, and how it happened is that President Ortega, the current president, who's been the president for the past 16 years, he's fucking corrupt as fuck. Like, from what I've been learning and what I've been doing my research on, his wife is the vice president, like a fucking monarchy. You know what I'm saying? And he's cut what's it called, budget cuts, where people's pension, people's retirement funds got like the amount of money that they removed tax rate went from like a small 1-digit number to a double-digit number, like in the 20s. And a lot of people, it's a third world country, like a lot of people aren't really like making money like that. Like a lot of people are making money on their own dime because there's not a lot of resources in Nicaragua like that. There's only like 2 capitals, Bluefield and Managua. And you know, college students are protesting because this is affecting more elderly people, because elderly people are the ones that are retired, so they're taking their money. And as they're protesting, police started, you know, really inflicting their power to the point where they were like trying to terrorize them. People started dying, and this is what happened in the late 70s, in the late 80s, which is the only reason why I'm even here now, because my parents came from Nicaragua to the States because of the Revolutionary War, because the Sandinistas are like a rebel group, and they were calling it a revolution where they were fighting against the government fighting them. And this is a fucked up time period, and people don't know why the United States can contradict themselves as terrorists, because they're the ones funding and creating more chaos, because they're the ones giving more ammunition to the government, but then they start giving ammunition to the Sandinistas. So they're just watching people kill themselves over time.
Taking the
resources, taking everything. They're milking the shit out of everything. So that's why a lot of people, my uncle, he was in the draft, he fought in the war from San Jose, shit, he just stayed. And that's how it ended up here, you know, but like, that's how it started. Now it's like, they cut the pensions, they kept protesting, and then it just got worse and worse. More people started dying, and then they started incarcerating people, they started arresting people. And they started arresting them for protesting, like not even real reasons. They started going against their rights. And they started arresting them. They started getting tortured in jail cells. They would come back like beat up, like almost like fucking cut, slit, everything. It was just like, and then it started getting worse when the news broadcasting station, independent broadcasting station, were getting closed down. Journalists were getting threatened. So like, they're getting threatened against their lives. Like, hey, if you talk about this, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna kill your family. The truth. And like, now all the broadcasting stations are down. The biggest one in Nicaragua is called La Prensa, which is like one of the biggest ones.
I think I've been hearing about that.
Yeah, La Prensa is the biggest one, and like they were just keeping them all quiet because they're threatening them. I think 536 people, I think like not even like in the thousands, people have already fled Nicaragua to other countries like Costa Rica, Honduras, and US.
Shit's crazy, bro. Like,
US had to step in to get that motherfucker out.
Middle East is still fighting. They've been fighting there for the last fucking 100 years, bro. Like, what, you know, since Babylon, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That shit is nuts, man.
But to your point, what are you gonna ask about like the Nicaragua situation, or?
Yeah, so like, I mean, I think it, like, for me, it was more like how privileged we are, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're super fucking privileged, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like
we have issues, we have issues with privilege.
Like, what would you feel like, what are some of the main things that people show through their colors of them not realizing their privilege? Like, what are some actions people do that make you realize, like, yeah, you're kind of privileged, you don't realize it? Like, how do you know someone is privileged?
It's privilege, you know, some have more than others, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like at the perspective of the US or San Jose where we're at right now, if I'm not white, my privilege of trying to get an opportunity is 10 to 1, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. If we look at it, the grand scale of things, if we look at ourselves, if I look at me, Brown, and I look at third world countries, I'm fucking privileged as fuck, you know what I'm saying, like 100%, like, I recognize that and I see that shit. And some people maybe don't see that or they forget about it, and I feel like you gotta constantly remind yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or it also comes from like the way you were raised, you know what I'm saying? The environment you're in, because that also affects who you are, you know, what type of value system were you raised on, you know what I'm saying? I think that affects the way, what you think privilege is, you know what I'm saying?
And it's like, it's just crazy because like, the way we transitioned this was perfect because you and I were going back and forth about like gentrification, technically pushing people out, and this is a very serious issue in our community, but it's not really risking our life. You know what I'm saying? We're still like, at the end of the day, like, if we can't afford where we live, we're just gonna lose Stockton. Or like or like maybe we go home.
We have to adapt.
We'll adapt some way, shape, or form. But like in other places, people are losing their life by just walking out their front door, or going out at a certain time, or saying certain things that you're not supposed to say. Like imagine the Colin Kaepernick situation in Nicaragua. He's bodied. He's done. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much they killed Kaepernick not in a physical aspect, but in the economic aspect. Like they mentally too. Like I don't know if you were reading recently about the contradiction that these people are doing with I forgot the name of the quarterback for the Colts. He just got signed, but this guy had erratic behavior. He was caught trying to sneak into a girl's house and like whisper in her ear when she was asleep, and he was trespassing. He was fucking fighting. He got in a fight with the head coach of the Clemson team in college, who's the highest paid coach in the NCAA. And keep in mind, these are all problems added up, right? He has problems with the law, problems with the internal organization, and he is unemployed after leaving the Broncos, but he gets signed to the Colts. But they won't sign Colin Kaepernick because of what he stands up for. And he's not an issue. He has the stats, but he's a fucking raw-ass player. So this is like, it's just crazy, bro. America has like, I feel like many issues.
But it's also like, we're privileged to be here, you know what I'm saying? Like we are. It's just like, I feel the way I look at it is like it's a higher level playing field compared to third world countries.
Yeah.
It definitely has its issues and like, you know, especially with poverty, but like it's not really poverty if you compare it to
exactly
wherever, you know what I'm saying? Philippines or you know what I'm saying, Nicaragua, parts of Mexico.
It's like there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Because like we're not getting risk our lives, but we're getting risk our resources, our opportunities. That's a true point.
I mean, there's hell opportunity here too. You know what I'm saying? Like you know,
like people can really make money. Like you can literally make money at the fucking Mercado, bro.
More so now. I think more so now at this age too. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, especially the next generation, what's the next generation that came about. You know what I'm saying? After millennials, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they're more aware, they're more, you know what I'm saying? They feel more, they have the more entrepreneurial spirit, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know?
I agree. I feel like that was shed by social. You know, social media gave opportunity for people to really give their opinions. Because, you know, there's good opinions out there and then there's some fucking stupid ass ones. I feel like, you know, that's what Twitter does. I feel like some people just don't got shit to talk about.
That shit's too hard, bro. It's
like sometimes, no, it's just like, that's the thing, like, you gotta just be like, not blocking motherfuckers, maybe just being like, selective who you follow. But this is the thing that sucks. Someone that you follow that you think is smart might be following a dumbass and being entertained by their stupid shit. They retweet it and now I'm consumed by their stupid shit.
Right.
I don't know.
So there's that, and within that, I'm dropping a music video, probably like in late June or early July. That is for the Conformani song, and involves a lot of like my community members, and I wanted to take that time to highlight them, you know what I'm saying, and highlight all our community. But that's kind of the thing that I'm working on.
I love how you like incorporate the culture though, you know what I'm saying? Like you do like I don't even know what genre you would label it, because some of your music you're rapping in Spanish. So like what genre, is that like Spanish trap or like what would that be called? Like what would you
I'm kind of like starting a new shit.
You're trying to go away pretty much. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the only person that recently released something that like maybe like a pinch of like what it was Burner El Chivo with Tercer Elemento.
Yeah, he's fucking smart for that.
Woo, that shit was hard, boy. That shit had like 7 million views now. That's at 7 million views, bro. That's like, hey, honestly, I'm gonna keep it G, bro. I did not put Tercer Elemento away.
Oh, where? Yeah.
Never. But when you slapped that shit, I was like, what? I love it. See, I don't know if you noticed, like a lot of Latino artists have been collabing with rappers. Drake with Bad Bunny, Cardi B, J Balvin with fucking DJ Khaled recently. All that shit's hard. This is for me. I see that. That's unfortunate. All you guys are late. Like these guys been slapping like, for years. Y'all should have been collabing with Don Omar and all that. Even though, I mean, they did. Fat Joe, Don Omar, Daddy Yankee, 50 Cent. You know, some of these collabs. Yeah, because they had that shit rolling. They had. Do not sleep on the Latino culture, bruh.
And I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? I think like since Bad Bunny came out, I think that was the real first like entryway with the establishment of the Latino sound.
Yeah, I
like track, right? You know.
Yeah, all that sound. Or that song. That motherfucker was going.
But even I was following him even before he blew up. You know, he was making whole different type of music too before that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy to see him blow up like that, and it just took that one song and whatever labels he was playing, making moves with. I think took him in that direction.
Yeah, bitches taking off their clothes and the concert.
Oh, you went to the concert?
Oh man, I just know. I heard stories, bro. I heard also. What's up, Silos? Yeah, that jersey look a little tight on you, bro.
Yeah.
Shit. How long I want to end this podcast, bro? I want to transition. I feel like, is there anything else that you want to bring up that you want to mention? Because I'm gonna be putting this on different distributions, visually, audio, and I just feel like this content is gonna grow. It's gonna keep growing. People are gonna understand, what's going on in the culture. So like, where anything that you want to tell the audience, what they should be aware of, things that they should take the time to learn. This is the Recipe Podcast. Just so you know, what you love like this podcast. The whole goal is to showcase and to educate. Give an opportunity for you to represent your brand and inform people about things that they do not know right now.
I mean, just from my perspective, and what I'm trying to do is, which is part of my purpose, is like how to bring more awareness and representation and some sense of pride within our own cultures, within the historical trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like at least part of like my own music and just music in general too. Like just the sounds, the production. What that.
You should have tight on here, bro.
Yeah, it does a little tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's spin it, huh?
A little bit.
I want to use it for my video. Right?
Just at the top.
You're in the middle of the podcast right now. So just so you know, this is my boy Carlos. If you have any words to say to the camera, you might just go ahead and say it right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say some shit.
Don't give up. Chase your dreams, guys.
Hey, my dog be barring people up, man. So you ever in downtown San Jose, come to Luther Barbershop, how I want to see them. Hey, so you're right.
Nah, you're good. It's a dope environment here too. Like just be, hearing the fun music. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing the Chivo playing, being here, being active. You know what I'm saying? I love with that.
And we right on the block, man. Virginia, right on the corner. You know what I'm saying? People that are from San Jose know that motherfucker's the only little section, little tribe that has the hot block. And this is like
it's a Virginia on the west side, there's a Virginia on the east side.
Yeah, that's true.
But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, find your purpose, fulfill what that is, you know what I'm saying? And if it's within your own culture, like what can you do to add to it or contribute to it or we're you know what I'm saying, once you know the history and where your money's coming from, the dollars, where the dollar's coming from, your perspective changes, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that 100%.
So it's like, how do we create that shit?
Hell yeah, because like even when you're working at a job and then you see like the boss making all the money and they just give you a piece of the pie, that's how entrepreneurship starts. Because you're just like, man, that's how much I made off of me. Like I could do that shit on my own. Any last things?
Just have faith and believe in all that you do. That's it.
Hell yeah, man. Have faith. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one's gonna believe in you. It starts with you, and then everyone branches off the same. With that being said, though, my boy Miguel, thank you for coming through, bro. I really appreciate you. With that being said, what are your handles, your social media before we head out?
Just at Miguel Kultura with a K. Everywhere.
Miguel Kultura with a K that's for Instagram. Snapchat, all that good stuff. Go ahead and do some research, check this stuff out, listen to his music, check him out, inquiry about his production, studio time, production. This guy's fucking versatile, man. You just gotta tap him on. With that being said, this is your boy BQ, the Recipe Podcast with Game of Soul Not Told, and we out.